violence or no other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Many parents might have had a conversation with their children after a string of violence inside local schools. This week alone, we've seen 2 serious fights inside DeKalb County schools.
I know they've got it blurred out, but you can tell those are super gremlins. We've covered all of this violence that has gone on in these schools in Fulton County, DeKalb County, Decatur. It's bad, man. Like, you can't learn in these environments. You just can't. It's such a distraction, and it's almost impossible to stop. And the problem nowadays is these super gremlins will fight, and then the next day they bring in straps to the school. So it is looking like a problem.
You can see those videos right here. And today's students even got pepper sprayed. Channel 2's Matt Johnson is live outside of Towers High School. And Matt, you're going deeper tonight, and you're looking at why we're seeing more violence in our schools.
Wendy, it's something that several metro school districts continue to respond to, and parents rushed here today at Towers High School when they heard about a large police presence. And tonight, so many parents have questions about why this happened, and they're looking for solutions.
Why did it happen? I don't think we're ready to answer that question, honestly. I really don't. As a community, we're not ready to answer this question.
I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on.
Deanna Kearney.
You don't know what's going on. Well, you should know what's going on, because unfortunately, the sisters have advocated for
What's going on?
this type of behavior. Right? With the criminal justice reform, the victimization mindset, all of these things have contributed to why these kids are out here doing what they're doing. Okay, I taught at elementary schools until, the pandemic hit off, and what I'll tell you, man, is a lot of these kids are missing guidance. A lot of these kids are missing father figures, and they're violent, at a very young age. I've had to break up multiple fights of young kids, young Black, Hispanic kids, whatever. And I'm just like, we're not teaching the kids how to settle these conflicts without putting your hands on somebody. Like, I know in the community, a lot of sisters will say to their kids, hey, you got in a fight in school today, but did you win the fight? Okay? It's a problem, okay? Because there needs to be a conversation about conflict resolution in the homes, not creating a program to, implement conflict resolution, things like that. These programs aren't working. The only people who are taking heed to these programs are people who aren't going to be involved in this anyway. The students who are actually trying to learn and get their education.
I really don't know what's going on.
Deanna Kearney came to Towers High School in DeKalb County to make sure her daughter was safe on Wednesday after she heard of a large brawl in the cafeteria.
She texted me, she said she's okay.
But the sight of police officers at the campus left her disappointed because of more violence at a metro school.
And that's what it's going to take. More security guards, more police officers who come out here and at least can keep the order in these schools. I've suggested, might have a security guard or an officer sit in the classroom in each class. Right? That's how bad it's gotten. And that it's sad that I'm even having to say that, but they're just out of control, and these these young super gremlins, they're getting on demon time a lot earlier now. Some of these dudes are going to school. They done jack cars already.
Seems like it's not getting any better.
Videos posted to social media we obtained and blurred show students fighting earlier Wednesday. A school resource officer got involved and used pepper spray to try and control the fight.
Administrators would jump in, but I didn't think the students were going to start hitting them and stuff like that.
We saw an ambulance.
What? So she said the administrators jumped in and she didn't think the students were going to start hitting them. Have you seen the super gremlin on demon time?
Administrators would jump in, but I didn't think the students were going to start hitting them and stuff like that.
Yeah. These super gremlins are beating teachers up. I'm telling you this. I showed y'all the video of the big super gremlin who was at that one school and he was arguing with the white teacher over a chair, right? He was very disrespectful, cursing, all types of stuff to a teacher. So if push would have came to shove and he actually would have counted him absent and kicked him out the class and whatnot, he might have laid hands on that guy. And that super gremlin was huge. Like, bro was big. So he would have put the paws on that teacher. Okay? And this is what's happening in these schools in Atlanta, in the metro Atlanta area. It's getting dangerous because these super gremlins they'll put their hands on teachers.
We saw an ambulance take one student to a hospital, and DeKalb School says the student had minor injuries.
The ones that want to fight, maybe they need to stay at home.
Parents in South.
So now they need to stay at home. Where's their second chance, sis? Where's their second chance? Why can't they be rehabilitated with social workers? And it, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many contradictions. We got to stand firm on what we're willing to do and what we need to do to get these schools back safe. All right. And I think a lot of sisters have been really wishy-washy on the types of punishments and whatnot that they think a lot of these super gremlins should face. And they need to, you know, stand 10 toes on a policy and stick with that, because are you asking to defund the police and less police and tell social workers to respond to these events and get they behind beat? Or are you asking that these kids don't even get allowed to come to school and they don't get an education? They don't deserve to get an education because they're violent. Is that what you're saying? Okay, so we need to pick one.
Fulton County are still grappling with a stabbing that injured two students exactly a week ago at Banneker High School.
And I covered that one, Banneker High School. I covered that.
District officials told parents the stabbing started because of a, quote, neighborhood dispute. It led to a parent town hall meeting and also...
Yeah, and that parent town hall meeting was like 50% police and then a few parents. So these parents don't... en masse, they don't care. Okay? And that's a stabbing. What happens when there's a shooting? I bet the auditorium will be even less filled. Like, I'm just saying, it's that bad to where the parents don't even care enough to come to a town hall about their own high school that their children are going to. That's how bad it is.
So the superintendent requesting 10 extra campus security staff.
Children need to be taught skills, not just punished for behavior.
So you see the bald-headed sister. You see what she's saying. That directly conflicts with what that other woman was saying. She said send them home. And now the bald-headed sister is telling, you know, singing another tune.
Taught skills, not just punished for behavior.
So no punishments. Got it.
Dr. Rosalind Pitts-Clark is a psychologist who says she's been concerned about an increase in violence and threats at schools since the start of the pandemic. She says social media continues to inspire and even draw out some of the violence.
Fights are posted on social media, as well as issues that may spill over from the community or bullying that may have taken place continues to get perpetuated over in social media, and it spills over into the schools.
And she's not wrong. She's literally saying everything that I've been saying, but her solution, you know, may or may not be effective. Who knows? Maybe if they let her implement it, I don't know. But it's it has to be, a line has to be drawn in the sand of what you want to do with these kids who are continually perpetuating this violence in the schools, how many chances we want to give them, and how far we're willing to let these beefs go.
This video shows a group of boys jumping on a brother and sister at Cedar Grove High School in DeKalb County on
Boys jumping on a brother and sister. And I'm familiar with Cedar Grove because my high school used to play Cedar Grove, and it's a rough school. But they had some really talented athletes there, and they got some really talented scholars as well. But now it's gotten a lot worse, and it's a shame. It's a combination of years of neglecting the issue and not facing it head on.
Video shows a group of boys jumping on a brother and sister at Cedar Grove High School in DeKalb County on Monday. Their mother says she's frustrated with administrators for not helping to resolve a conflict. We reached out to the school district.
Well, what are the administrators gonna do? They can't fight as well as these super gremlins. That's just the facts. They can't compete. They can't throw hands. They don't have fast hands. They can't grapple, and they're not as quick and not as strong, not as youthful, not as energetic. Administrators can't do anything but call the police. So you think I'm a 50-year-old administrator, right? Say I'm a teacher, 50-year-old teacher. Most of the teachers in these schools are female, so you got to call a male teacher. He comes in there, he gets his he gets his lights knocked out by a super gremlin who's just as big as him, or three of them. Now what are we supposed to do? This is where the strong and independent women need to come in and start throwing hands and see how it feels to be a man. This is equality.
And they declined to comment on allegations of poor leadership.
I don't understand why is this taking place when I just gave you all a heads up that it was about to happen.
So it looks like Tabrisha got inside knowledge. Maybe her kids coming back saying, yo, somebody messing with me. They say they're going to do this and that to me. Whew. Man.
Dr. Clark says whether it's a brawl, a stabbing, or bullying, schools can help parents with constant communication.
You try to reassure parents and students that they are safe.
And Channel 2's Matt Johnson back out with us live. Matt, there have been some arrests in some of these cases. So do experts think that talking about the arrests and creating a record could actually then be a deterrent for students who are watching?
Oh, Wendy, Dr. Clark told me that she certainly understands why police have made arrests in these cases. She's just hoping that these arrests are followed with some type of conflict resolution training, because she's saying that these arrests are happening, but incidents are also still happening as well. Wendy.
All right, that's true. Good point right there, Matt. Thank you. There's still so much to do.
To Action News investigation uncovers the reason behind gun violence at a DeKalb County high school, gang warfare. This is 19-year-old Mekhi Jackson. He is one of two teens arrested in connection to a shooting last month outside of McNair High.
Wow, man. My boy looked, he looked like he was just tired of it. He was just coming through banging on dudes. I mean, the gang violence is a serious issue. It's the real deal. I'm telling you guys, I mean, these dudes are they're getting on demon time earlier and earlier in life.
Channel 2's Michael Seiden is live at DeKalb County Police Headquarters today with the exclusive details that you've just uncovered, Michael.
Yeah, so we've been reviewing more than 24 documents, including the ones you see right here. What we've learned is that the gang unit here, the SWAT team here in DeKalb, as well as DeKalb Public Schools Police Department, they all worked a joint investigation. They were able to identify several alleged gang members who were involved in that school shooting last month at McNair High School. It was the end of a school day at McNair High School in DeKalb County when investigators say a 15-year-old student who is considered a well-known gang member started spraying bullets at other students who are suspected members of a rival gang. We're not naming him since he's a minor. No one was hit by the gunfire, but a Channel 2 Action News investigation has confirmed that DeKalb County Schools Police and the county's SWAT team and gang unit all worked together to arrest and charge multiple suspects, including 19-year-old Mekhi Jackson. The former DeKalb County student and suspected gang member is now charged in the drive-by shooting after...
Woo! This is a rough little super gremlin, man. It's crazy. It's wild, bruh.
For investigators determined he was the getaway driver. According to a police report, the January 21st shooting was part of a series of retaliation shootings between rival gangs. When police arrested Jackson and the suspected shooter, the report shows they recovered a stolen Glock that was taken during an armed robbery in Riverdale. If I said...
Dang, so he stole the... And that's what gets me. These dudes are stealing guns. To steal a gun, you gotta have some big balls, honestly, to steal a gun. Like, knowing you're going in to rob somebody who has a weapon to defend themselves. It's whoever ups the gun first at that point.
Hey, Metro Atlanta schools have gang problems. Is that hyperbole? Am I exaggerating?
You're not exaggerating.
Tyrone Dennis is a retired Atlanta police gang detective.
All right, so Tyrone's saying it. So is he a coon Uncle Tom sellout? Tyrone's saying it. And he's discussing this with, it looks like this dude might be Hispanic, but probably like white Hispanic.
If I say Metro Atlanta schools have gang problems, is that hyperbole? Am I exaggerating?
You're not exaggerating.
Tyrone Dennis is a retired Atlanta police gang detective who has investigated many of Metro Atlanta's most notorious gangs.
And shout out to this brother Tyrone, man. This is a good representation of a Tyrone, because that last Tyrone that we had, woo, he was looking crazy. But shout out to this brother, man. Looks like he knows exactly what's going on down in these streets, and he's willing to do the work to police his own, which the community says that they're willing to do, but not really in most cases.
He's not involved in this case, but says young children often turn to gangs when they aren't getting enough attention at home.
Some kids feel like they're not being loved properly at home, and they may get the attention that they want being within this gang. Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.